Hey everybody, ronarray here, and in PoE, both Spectres and Animate Guardian can be a source of very strong buffs that can significantly improve your damage and survivability, but for some people the process of setting those up can feel a little too complicated. So in this video, I'm going to cover all main things you will need to set up both comfortably. I'm league starting 3.28 as an Absolution Guardian, and also have a Necromancer version too. So in this video, I'm mostly going to focus on Spectres and AG for Absolution build, but it still can be useful for other minion builds or builds that just want to utilize Spectres or AG. Feel free to sub to the channel if you appreciate such breakdown, and let's go! So first, quick recap how to use the Spectres. You'll need to navigate to Option, then Game tab. There you can see the option Corpse Targeting, which should be set to 1k health. You can change the K binding to any button if you get to Input tab. Once it's set, hover over Corpse to find the monster that you need. While hovering over the right corpse, click the Summon Spectre button. That's it, now you have the Spectre. You also will obviously need a Spectre gem equipped, so keep that in mind as well. Also, keep in mind that if you don't want to use Spectres at all, you can still play my Absolution build without them, but I believe the buffs are definitely worth it. And first, let's talk about Spectres in the campaign. Generally, in the campaign you're not really using Spectres that much, and you just focus on one big thing that can improve your damage. Is Carnage Chieftain. Carnage Chieftain is obtainable from old fields and Broken Breach and Act 2, so very early, and you can always go back there to get Carnage Chieftain for yourself. He's going to grant Frenzy charges to allies, and practically going to give Frenzy charges to you, your Absolution guys, and it's going to improve your damage pretty nicely. So if you're going to run the Spectres in the campaign, I definitely recommend to take Carnage Chieftain. And second option after that is Host Chieftain. Since you can get 2 Spectres at higher level, you can also run Host Chieftain in that case. He's going to give you power charges compared to Frenzy charges. It's significantly less damage because you probably don't have a high critical strike chance, but if you invest into crit pretty early, it still could be a solid version. However, the main option is just running double Carnage Chieftain instead, to make sure that your Frenzy charge generation is as high as possible. Now, let's talk about Spectres closer to the endgame when you already finished campaign and currently running maps. So right here, in level 70, you will be able to use at least 2 Spectres, so from level 13 of Race Spectre Gem, you will be able to get 2 Race Spectres. Before that, it's only 1 Race Spectre. You can still use the Chieftain in the same fashion, and around level 90, I heavily recommend to just buff Death Atonement on your amulet, so you will be able to get 3 Spectres in general. Let's talk about which 3 Spectres are going to be the best and what kind of options you even have. So first option is still Carnage Chieftain just from charges. However, as fast as you will be able to get enough currency, I heavily recommend to just go for Perfect Forest Tiger instead. That corpse could be kinda expensive, it could go up to 10 divines in some situations, so look at your own budget, but it's definitely the best. In the Perfect variation, it's going to give you Haste Aura and Frenzy charge to nearby allies on hit, which is very good, so you're practically getting free haste and Frenzy charges too, which is absolutely amazing. Another cool option is Undying Evangelist. You can practically get him from your campaign if you like, so like from Act 3. You can also use him in campaign 2 if you want a little protection. It generally just provides you proximity shield, you can see it around the monster, and you can just hide in that shield, so you will get like better defenses and better survivability. Another cool thing that you can use is Pale Seraphim. Pale Seraphim, especially in the endgame, is a Beyond Demon, and it has a very nice buff, so if you will look at PoEDB, you have reduced action speed and take increased damage. So that's 15% reduced action speed and 15% increased damage taken for enemies, with base duration of 3 seconds, which is pretty nice. However, that guy is not really hitting with that skill that often, sometimes it can miss, and you need to decide for yourself if you want to do that. Another cool option for the fans is Perfect Guardian Turtle. So Perfect Guardian Turtle will cast Determination, and if you will decide to use it, you can drop Determination from the build and use any other aura that you like. It's also giving you 5% of physical damage reduction, which is very nice for survivability, and it's giving you a Rangakurai boon, so you cannot be damaged for 2 seconds once in 30 seconds cooldown. The biggest issue with the Guardian Turtle that it's kinda slow, so that's why we have a Convocation setup, so Turtle will get teleported to you all the time. And as another option, we also have a Perfect Warlord. So you can cast like Vitality from, and he's also helping you with generating endurance charges. And here what I would currently run. So first off, it's Perfect Spirit of Fortune. At the moment, Perfect Spirit of Fortune is absolutely mandatory if you're playing Necromancer, because it's giving you Wrath. However, even if you playing Guardian, you will still like to use it because of lightning damage of nearby allies is lucky. So Perfect Spirit of Fortune is practically perfect for the build. Next thing, as I already mentioned, it's Perfect Forest Tiger. It's expensive but absolutely worth it. And the last Spectre that I would use is probably going to be Perfect Forest Warrior. It's giving you nearby allies have Onslaught and Culling Strike. Those bonuses together are pretty nice because you will always have an Onslaught, and Culling Strike is going to help against rares, bosses, and everything like that. So I believe that both Tiger and Spirit of Fortune are absolutely mandatory, but Forest Warrior could be repicked, so you can do like a Pale Seraphim if you like, you can do a Perfect Warlord if you like, or even the Turtle if you want a little more survivability. There's also another option for the last Spectre, which is Baronite Cleric. It gives 20% of physical damage gained as lightning, which is a pretty nice buff. However, Baronite Cleric has a pretty small radius of aura, and sometimes monsters are just like running out of it, and I don't really believe it worth it compared to other options. You can also get +1 Spectre later on, especially at higher levels, when you will get a higher level of your gems. So for example, when we're looking about more expensive versions, right here we have a Spectre, which is level 21, and it has additional modifiers, so maximum 3 race Spectres. And since we still have Death Atonement, I believe that we will get an option to get like the last Spectre. And the last Spectre is probably going to be either Turtle or Baronite Cleric. So now let's talk about Animate Guardian. Animate Guardian is a very cool thing, especially if you have a budget for it, and right now it's even better because you're not losing your items anymore when your Animate Guardian dies. So practically, you just need to go to the location, drop the item you would like to use on the ground, and click it with Animate Guardian skill. So make sure you're doing that and summoning your Guardian. So practically, Guardian can provide a lot of nice bonuses on top. You can use Animate Guardian of the Smiting. It's going to use a Smite skill of Divine Judgment, so there are going to be no aura, but it's still in a pretty nice damage. Or Animate Guardian, which is just going to have more life. Both of them are pretty viable for different conditions. Most of the time I'm running just a normal Animate Guardian myself. So, talking about the items you need to use for Animate Guardian. First off, for the weapon, I generally recommend to run something very simple as Dying Breath, because that item is very easy to get, it's very cheap, it's going to give you nearby allies, has 18% increased damage, and increased effect of non-curse auras from your skill switch is not properly working for a Guardian, and nearby enemies have 18% increased effect of curses on them, so practically you're getting damage and curses. So, as another option, and more expensive one, I think there is a point to run Kingmaker Despot Axe. It's going to give you nearby allies has 10 fortification, which is absolutely amazing, and nearby allies has 50% to critical strike multiplier. But Kingmaker is always kinda expensive. I definitely recommend it for the later setup, but while you don't have money for it, you can just run Dying Breath. There's also an option to run Sign of the Sin Eater, but right here I think it's a little complicated. It's mostly used to protect yourself against elements, because it has enemies inflict elemental elements on you instead of nearby allies, so it will practically go to your Guardian instead of you. But it's not giving anything else, and unfortunately, Smite is not really providing like auras your Guardian can properly use it. And I don't really believe it's worth it at the moment, so Dying Breath into Kingsmaker is probably my choice. For the helmet, you practically have a double option right here. You can run Blood Price River Helmet for nearby enemy monsters, has 8% of life reserved, also with a huge regeneration. You can also corrupt it for regenerate 1% of life per second to make sure your Guardian survives better. Or, as another option, you can run Glimpse of Chaos with Malediction. It gives you nearby enemies have Malediction, and Malediction is a pretty nice aura, which is kinda hard to get. It's increasing the damage that enemies receive, and generally, it's a very nice option, especially since it gives 40% of maximum life. However, that will cost more and could be a little more rare at moments. And if you feel like your Guardian is dying too often, you can also run Mask of the Stitch Demon. Mask of the Stitch Demon is going to give you huge regeneration of life for your Guardian, and it's going to survive much better. So generally, I'm going to start with Blood Price and probably swap to Glimpse of Chaos later on. For Body Armour, we have a few options, and first off is Blood Bond. It's a very easy way to get life regeneration on your Guardian. It's regenerating 1% of life and giving you 20% increased maximum life for your Guardian. However, minions have 25% increased maximum life, not working, because unfortunately Guardian is not considered his own minion. So you just get a regeneration and 20% maximum life right here. And another solid option is running Garb of Ephemeral. Garb of Ephemeral is giving you nearby enemies cannot deal critical strikes, which is absolutely amazing. And nearby allies has action speed cannot be modified to below base value. So it's practically protecting you and your guys against most of the slows in the game. So Garb of the Ephemeral is a very solid option. And as gloves and boots, the best option for the Guardian is just improving the clear. So we are using Asenath, mostly because enemies killed near corpses affected by your curse explode, and curse enemies with temporal chains on hit. It's also combined pretty good with Animate Guardian of Smiting, because Smite is a pretty nice skill which is hitting a lot of enemies. So it will be much easier to curse with it. And keep in mind that you will need to get Windscream boots, so your Guardian can properly apply curses, otherwise it's going to constantly override your own curse. So getting Windscream with you can apply an additional curse is a very nice thing. For bossing, you also don't really need Asenath anymore, so you're practically just using that setup for better clear in general. There's not a lot of other options for gloves and boots, because most of the time it's recommended to just run that combination, because improvement of your clear, it's pretty important. So just with such items, your Guardian is going to be pretty nice, and if you will replace Kingmaker with Dying Breath and, for example, the helmet just with the Blood Price, you can also run Garb of Ephemeral in that case, so that setup is going to be pretty solid. Start using the Guardian when you will have enough currency for it, and it's definitely going to buff your build even further. Hope that video will help you out to set up both your Guardian and your Spectres to improve your general experience. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.